Hi there. If you're wondering how I'm getting this good squirrel footage, and I'm also getting myself in the picture-in-picture, then keep watching, because you're watching Blue Collar Guy. Okay, we're back. So, what am I up to today? Well, as you can see, I've got an inside setup outdoors. I've got myself in a picture-in-picture, and I am able to zoom in on some good squirrel footage, as we would call it in Canada. Pretty interesting. I'm just going to move this around a little bit so I can get a different angle, because the way I've got it set up is kind of unique. A lot of people were calling this a gimmicky type of thing on the Panasonic HC-WXF1. That's the equipment that I'm using right now. And I actually got it for this reason, because when you're filming and you want to have yourself in the shot, but you want to show something else that's interesting, what do? And this is the only camera I could find where it had all of this built in. So with this camera, I can film the outside world and me all at the same time. I'm shooting in 4K. If I use a cell phone for a second camera, I can only shoot in 1080p. However, you could upscale it to 4K after that. Now, why am I shooting with a camcorder? Well, I am demonstrating the brand new DJI Mic Mini, as you can see on my lapel. And a lot of people own these camcorders. Oh, got an airplane. There we go. So you do need a little bit of light for this to work. It is not a perfect system. It is -10 outside today. And I'm using a Panasonic HC-WXF1. That's how I'm getting the picture-in-picture shot. Now, this picture is burned in, meaning that you cannot edit it or put it in later. And many of you are saying, well, you could just do 2 different camera shots all at once. But unfortunately, you would not be able to do that rather easily. So why am I demonstrating this particular camera with this microphone? Well, believe it or not, camcorders are making a comeback. I bought this thing used for $1,000, and you can still get them brand new for about $1,350, I think it is. Yeah, Canadian. Okay. So why are they making a comeback? Well, because ease of use is overruling bokeh. That's why the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is so popular. It doesn't provide a lot of bokeh, but a lot of people are buying it, and that's why. Now, the sensor in this particular camera isn't a 1-inch sensor. It is a 1/2.5-inch sensor, which is about the same as a cell phone sensor. However, it offers pretty darn good picture quality, and as long as you're getting enough light, there won't be much of a difference. And I will show you what it looks like if we flip this around and show you the other angle. So I'm going to turn the screen and flip it around. So this is the big screen, and this is what I look like on the little screen. So as you can see, it is so cold, it is turning me red. Redder than red. I'm going to go and zoom back out. So this particular camcorder, as you can tell, has got a 25mm lens, meaning that you can vlog with it. If I'm not even holding this at full arm's length, and I can vlog with it. I can also turn the little camera around, and I can shoot the other side, the opposite side, and put it in the picture-in-picture. And I can even get a sideways shot and show the sidewalk while I'm doing that. And I don't know if I can move it around to different corners or not, but I haven't quite examined that or not. But, you know, this is what that looks like. I'm going to just shut it off right now. And I think, yeah, that's how you shut it off. So I know that I'm in focus because I have an orange box around me. So a lot of people make a mistake with these cameras to think as long as they have a box they're in focus. However, it must be orange. So why are people using these camcorders? Oh, sorry. Just going to put you on a selfie stick. There we go. And make sure that that is locked in. Make sure that we're on a bit of an angle. There we go. And now I've got to, oh, this is going to be tricky. There we go. Okay. So this is what this camera looks like on a selfie stick. It has hybrid, whoops, this camera has hybrid OIS, optical image stabilization. And a lot of people are buying them. And nobody has done a video with this camcorder or any other camcorder with any wireless microphone like the DJI Mic Mini or the Mic 2 for that matter. So I thought I would try it out. And this is what it looks like. So we're going to go back into the studio and we're going to talk about this because my hands are getting freezing and I need to get them in a pocket. So that's it for outside shot. Now we're going to go to the inside shot. Okay, so we're back in the studio and we're talking about camcorders. Yeah, camcorders. So the one I'm talking about is this one right here, the Panasonic HC-WXF1. They make different models. And it's important that you get the correct model number because this particular one is the only one that has a viewfinder and the camera in the door. If you get the other models, they can do the picture-in-picture, but you have to go to 1080p, and then you would have to upscale it to 4K. This one can shoot in 4K, and as long as you're using the camera in the door, everything is in 4K. So a lot of people have described this camcorder as gimmicky, but as you can see, it's got a real use. You can narrate a shot with yourself in the picture, and you can shoot something else. And it's a lot more interesting than if people just heard your voice. They can see you, you've got their attention. You can also use that second camera for something else if you wanted to get a different angle, or you wanted to get two different angles at the same time. It's all in this one compact little unit. I picked this up used, as I said in the video, for $1,000. It was just an open box. In other words, there was no scratches on it or anything like that. The only thing that I didn't like about it was the fact that it didn't have built-in variable ND filters like a lot of video-centric cameras have. I solved that problem by installing a variable ND filter that I bought for about $30, and I installed it by putting it on the 62mm thread. So this has a 62mm thread. You can take a variable ND filter, Kent and Faith Concepts, and I put it on the front of this. And if you look, you can see the little hidden lens. And if I open this, you'll see that it opens up and you'll see the lens behind it. Now, if I turn the filter and I go this way, you'll see that you won't be able to see it anymore because now I've increased the ND or turned it into more or less dark sunglasses. So on a bright day, I can achieve that natural motion blur that, you know, is better for your videos and doesn't make them look so jittery. I'm going to go to the downward shot and show you how this second camera works, because you've seen the picture-in-picture, but this way you can kind of see how this, what people have described as gimmicky, and I'm sort of saying there's a use for these things. So let's go to the downward shot. And by the way, nobody else really talks about the second camera on this particular camera, this video camera. They don't really talk about it. I didn't even know that you could shoot in 4K with this little camera. I had to find out for myself. They only mentioned if you used a cell phone and you had to go back to 1080p. So I thought that that was the case for all the functions, but no, you can shoot in 4K as long as you get this one with the camera in the door. So here we are in the downward shot, and I'm going to turn on the camera, and all you have to do is just turn it so that it's facing you. Then you're going to see a little square show up, and there's my face. And then the main lens is looking this way, and then this one is looking at me. And as you can see, you can adjust the angle by a little tiny lever back here, and then you can rotate it back and forth to get your other angle this way. Now, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but look, it's adding composition. There's nothing going on here right now, nothing interesting, but you could still see me. So if you were doing, let's say you're bringing something into the shot like a remote, people are still seeing you until you bring in something else, and then you move that in there. So if all you had was this for a studio camera and an outside camera, you could kind of make it work. It's very simple and easy to use. To turn it off, all you got to do is go like this. The engineers did an amazing job when they made this. It's very solid and robust. It does not feel cheap at all. It's a very well built system. To turn the camera off, all you got to do is close the door. I'm going to go back to me, and that is why camcorders are making a comeback. They're easy to use. The other reason why camcorders and point and shoot cameras are making a comeback is because people are realizing that the most important thing in a YouTube video is what you're talking about. It has nothing to do with the blurry background. The blurry background, if you want to know the history of that, a lot of photographers, if you see that talk about cameras, they were wedding photographers, they're professional photographers. They're used to taking pictures. So things like bokeh are very important because they believe firmly in their prime lenses. Camcorders don't have prime lenses. They have adjustable zoom lenses. And for video, it's actually a little better because you're able to get things that are more interesting. There is a lot of things happening in the world right now. Some people are saying they're seeing drones and UFOs and everything. Well, what's going to work better for you? Bokeh or something with a zoom lens? They're a little bit more useful. The other reason why camcorders are making a comeback is because they use SD cards. Your cell phone has internal storage. Ever since cell phones went to internal storage, guess what? That internal storage gets filled up pretty fast, doesn't it? Then you have to start buying cloud storage and this on moving files around, and nobody wants to do that. You can shoot all the video on here and just pick the files you want to edit and go from there. That is the other reason why camcorders and point and shoot cameras are making a comeback. So bokeh is not really a video-centric thing. When you look at movies and things like that, even cinematic movies, sometimes they will use bokeh and sometimes they don't, because what is happening that's behind people is interesting information that you might want to see. You know, if bokeh was around when I was young, and I am pretty old, when we were watching news people on doing their newscasts, and then you would see some guy dancing in the background making us laugh, and the news guy had no clue what was going on in the background. He's just talking about the weather. You got some guy there doing a little jitterbug behind him. Well, that's entertainment. If there was bokeh, all you would see is a little blur back there. You're not going to see that. Think of all the funny memories we would not have if bokeh was around and used as much as it is today. So I'm not saying bokeh is dead. I'm just saying bokeh it's not as important anymore. What's important is what we're talking about. What's important is the fact that I have to entertain you, not blurry backgrounds or special effects and things like that. It's me. I'm the one that's got to keep you interested. I'm the one that has to keep you from clicking onto the next video. It's my job to keep you engaged in the conversation. So why did I mount the DJI Mic Mini on this camera? Well, nobody's done a video mounting a modern microphone system, wireless, onto an older camera that was made in 2018. I'm going to be using this system on here as well as my bridge camera that's also Panasonic with a Leica lens, by the way. These are Leica lenses. They're not to be joked at. So if you think that camcorder lenses are no good, if you're getting a really high quality camcorder, the lens on that camera is going to be very decent. Panasonic makes some of the best camcorders on the market today. Now, I've said in the past that Sony is king, and Sony is king when it comes to video. But Panasonic is the #2 spot, in my opinion. They're right there. And they also are good at making options more innovative options. So when I was shopping for these camcorders so I could do a video on it, I looked at the Sony AX43, the AX53, which is the competition to this one. But it didn't have the little camera in the door. It didn't have the gimmicky thing that some people think is gimmicky and I thought was interesting. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. Is this considered like a professional camcorder that you would use for broadcasting news? No. Why did I not buy one of those? I could have got a giant industrial grade camcorder with a 1-inch sensor. Because my bridge camera has a 1-inch sensor, why didn't I get a camcorder with a 1-inch sensor? Well, I'm going to tell you. Not easy to use. They're big, they're clunky. You know, one of the reasons why the Pocket 3 is so popular, the camera that I'm looking into, is because of ease of use. People aren't buying it. They're not saying, well, it doesn't have bokeh, I don't want it. They're not saying that. They're using it because you can flip the screen, it turns on, you've got stabilization, you've got good color. Colors are beautiful. People can hear what you have to say because you have a good microphone. And that's what's important. It's what you have to say is what keeps people engaged. So I mounted this on top of this little light here because you can't mount this Mic Mini directly on the camera because it's got this stupid little door thing. And by the way, so does Sony, so I don't think it would fit on that one either. However, all these lights have their own cold shoe. And because these cameras have a 1/2.5-inch sensor, and by the way, so does the Sony, a light is almost a necessity if it starts getting dark because they're not good in low light. They do have excellent colors though, and when you are getting enough light, the picture quality is good, as you could see in the video. And by the way, that was a cloudy day. Freezing cold, I might add. My fingers were just killing me, but very cloudy. And I'm going to be testing out this camcorder more. I'm going to be using it in different situations. Do I think it'd be better if it wasn't as cold out? Oh yeah, this thing would work better. Now, one thing I'm going to let you know, and this is a little bit of advice, regardless if you have a Pocket 3, a camcorder, a bridge camera, is that in my little bag, and I don't think I have my little bag with me, no. So in my camera bag, I carry a giant Ziploc bag, okay? If it is cold outside or snowing or anything like that, you can take your SD card out, but put your camera in the Ziploc bag before you bring it into a nice warm house or apartment. This keeps moisture from getting into the electronics. So if you have a Pocket 3, which is not weather sealed, or any other camera that's not weather sealed, so if you have a mirrorless camera like my Sony ZV-E10, put them in a Ziploc bag before you bring them into your house. It will save it it'll add a lot of life to it, because when condensation gets inside the camera, it'll ruin the sensors, it'll ruin your circuit boards, because you'll have like little droplets of water literally on the circuit boards inside the camera. You can't see it, but those little droplets of water will start making connections between things that you don't want connections to, and you could have shorts, you could have things fail. It will kill the life of your camera. So unless your camera is weather sealed like an action camera, and don't do that. Like if you're vlogging or anything in bad weather, use one of these, and then you don't have to worry about it. You can take it from the cold to the hot. It doesn't matter. But as far as other cameras go, I put them in a Ziploc bag before I bring them inside. And it's important that you do it before it comes inside, because once it starts to warm up, it's too late. So if you're going to be doing any editing right away, take out that SD card before you Ziploc it up. Otherwise, you got to wait till it gets up to temperature and then take it out of the bag after that. It takes like 10-15 minutes, maybe an hour. It all depends on, you know, how cold it is and outside versus inside. But whenever you bring something cold inside to a warm environment, you're going to have condensation, and you don't want that with your electronics. So I hope that I saved somebody a lot of money with this advice. It's just a cheap way of dealing with non-weather sealed cameras if you're taking them out in bad weather. So this camera also can run all day long without overheating. So it'll be great for the summertime. It's going to be great for the fall. And it'll be great for things like parades. The other camera that I have, the bridge camera, is got a nice zoom lens on it, and it also has the ability to take photographs. This can take pictures too, but this is a video-centric device. It's designed for video. And that is the kicker between this and mirrorless cameras, is that they were designed originally for pictures. They have nice sensors and they can do a lot more, but you don't have to worry about buying lenses for this. A lot of photographers would hate this video because they'd be like, well, if you're listening to this guy, you're not going to be buying all these lenses that I'm recommending, because you're just going to buy this one camera and you're one and done. And I don't even get a commission if you buy this camera from Amazon. And I don't want one, because if I did, then you have to ask yourself, well, what were his motives? Was it to buy the camera so he gets a commission? This is why I don't do affiliate links. If I recommend something, it's because I firmly believe in the product. And that's it for this video. I'm going to be making some more videos over the holidays. I have some time off work because, unlike other guys, I have a day job. Sorry about the crazy hair, but hey, it is what it is with the weather, right? And yeah, I'm going to be using the DJI Mic Mini with the bridge camera. I'm going to be using it with the Action 3. I really like the DJI Mic Mini. I think it's a good part of the ecosystem that I got going on with my microphones and my other cameras. And is this a part of a DJI ecosystem? No, but not every camera you're going to get is going to be able to work into that ecosystem. Now, if DJI started making really good camcorders like this, then maybe I would look at them, because then I'd only need one app. Hint, hint, right? They are supposedly making a mirrorless camera, but you know, I've already got a mirrorless camera, and it would have to be something really, really special for me to consider switching from Sony over to that. If I was going to go with cinematic cameras or mirrorless cameras, I would probably stick with the Sony, unless somebody else came up with something that just really wowed me. And that's it for this video. So take care, be safe at work. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to leave a comment. If you have any questions about the DJI Mic Mini, I also made a video on it, whether or not it was compatible with the DJI Mic 2, if they're interchangeable. Check that video out. I hope that you watched this video to the end. I hope I kept you engaged. And I'll see you at the next video. Bye.